Holy Twitter ban, we are live. Welcome to the Chain Dogs podcast, where we talk about everything theme parks, roller coasters, amusement parks from all over the world. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are listening to this on Spotify, Apple Music, on podcast form of any kind, we do this every Wednesday at 8 p.m. So yeah, come and join us on the official Chain Dogs podcast YouTube channel.
Ooh,
how are you all doing, everyone? We good?
Yeah.
I'm good.
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 The official Chain Dogs podcast YouTube channel. I like it.
I literally say that every time.
Do you?
I was going to say.
I literally say that every single time.
All right, I'm out.
It's taking you all of 85 episodes to.
I mean,
realize
you
what
always
that
learn
sounds
something
like.
new every day, right? That's
Exactly. But yeah, it's been over 2 weeks. It's been like nearly 3 weeks for me
It's been
since
forever, mate. It's been forever.
It's been a long time. Been a long time. But yeah,
You're a changed man.
I actually do feel like a changed man. But we'll get into that. That's
Changed can.
It's like you've been in the Caribbean for a month.
pretty much, mate. There's one day where it reached 42 degrees, mate. Like, how mad is that? It's crazy.
That's touch and go.
Touch and go.
I'll tell you about that East Coast sun.
Oh, mate.
Hello, chat. How are you?
Yeah.
Hi, chat.
How's it going?
What up?
What up?
Hello, Half Northern.
Shout out to the
Hello.
lurkers.
Matt. Hello, Annabelle.
Shout out to the lurkers.
Hello, Joe.
Shout out to them. Mate.
Hello, World of Thrills.
Hello.
Just slowly going through.
Hello, Harry Potter. It's not here.
Hello, John.
So,
Yes.
It's top
everyone
from
in that
Taurus. Ugh.
Wow.
Yeah, Joe's asking the important questions. Who got banned from Twitter? Because I need that one explained to me.
We'll find out after the commercial break.
Somebody was naughty and got banned for bullying and harassment.
Yeah. It's a big deal because Bryce didn't see it, to be fair.
It was a big deal. Has anyone seen him? Because I've not.
I'll tell you after the show. Shall we get into the news? Shall we do that? Let's get into it. Because we've got obviously a big
Let's go.
one big main topic to do today, which is if we owned Phantasialand.
Ooh,
We love talking about Phantasialand. So
we do.
it's only
Bingo
absolutely
card.
obvious.
Getting sprayed with machine gun bullets on this one.
Wow.
Laughing, I'm shooting people.
So first up in the news, Blackpool reported today. No, was it yesterday or was it today?
Yesterday.
Yes.
Yesterday.
That there was a small fire underneath Derby Racer.
It's the teeny fire.
Little fire.
What do you mean small? It almost burnt the entire park down.
Oh,
Like the wonky pub.
oh God. Don't get me going on that wonky pub. I'm balls deep into that conspiracy. I'm
Oh
telling you.
god, yeah.
Oh no, have you seen it? It's quickly on
JCB,
that.
bro.
police are treating it as arson. So
Oh
no shit. Like
wow.
what the hell?
Not Pleasure
Like-
Beach. Anyone who's listening is getting
I
their
am
mouth
Not
shocked.
Pleasure
checked
Beach.
with this. No, not Pleasure Beach. We're talking about the wonky pub that burnt
the
down.
wonky pub.
That's
I've
only up the
never
road
even heard
from
about
us.
it before.
That's only up
Never
the
even
road
heard
from
of it, but I'm livid.
us. It's so bad. It's really bad.
So anyway, Blackpool.
Yeah.
Small fire.
That
under-
wasn't that. There was no arse in there, just so we're not mixing people up.
No,
Because,
it's
like,
for an out there.
if someone's zoned out and they're like, "What?" treating it as
That's
arse
why I
in there.
said it. I was like, out of context. That sounds terrible.
No, it was a small park. They managed it. A small park. It's a small fire. They extinguished it pretty rapidly, so and it didn't cause any major damage. So yeah, it was just interesting that it was reported like by the park themselves. When
Yeah.
I didn't
It
see
was-
anything about Twitter.
And they thanked the fire brigade and everyone
Yeah,
else
for-
staff as well.
for
So.
quick. So
Which is pretty
see,
cool.
I'm just picturing Amanda
With
here
a,
in
with
the
a hose
alarm,
pipe.
grabbing a fire extinguisher and just running.
Not the Derby Racer.
He's
While
on
the,
the way, dear.
while the actual fire brigade is already
Yeah.
taking care of it.
He's
Get
on
out
the
the
way. Leave Valhalla alone.
That's an old machine, John.
Does this count as a fire effect for Valhalla?
Hey,
Could do.
there we go. Like
Could
that. Like that.
But yeah, so that's
Who
that.
blocks up the
But yeah,
Um,
that's it. There's
that's
not
that.
much.
Let's stop.
And that's the news.
So yeah, next up, John Broome. Obviously, we got the sad news that the founder of Alton Towers, has passed away sadly at the age of 80.
Yeah.
Obviously, Alton Towers would not be Alton Towers today if it wasn't for John Broome. He sold it to Two Swords in, was it 1990? Was it 1990? I can't remember.
No.
I think it's about
I don't
90.
know.
Googling on air.
Yeah. So he sold it to Two Swords back then. But yeah, for a lot of the infrastructure and just being able to station any
It
kind of
was
rides,
1990.
trying to station any rides in that place wouldn't have worked. Obviously, corkscrew was the big thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's what started bringing coasters into the park.
Put the park on the map, didn't it?
Yeah, it is. And then he did the whole Battersea, the failed Battersea. I don't know what you call it. It was about a power plant, isn't it? But I don't know what he's
Yeah.
going to call it. But it's going to be like a whole theme park in itself and stuff.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, was that him that was behind? That-
yeah.
Ah, I did not realize that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now it's just an elevator. Cool
Yeah.
elevator. But
It
it's
is a
an
elevator.
There's
The
a
Wonka
dog
Bear.
zone.
Yeah. So because basically he started funding the Battersea attraction, and that's what pretty much bankrupted him. That's why he had to sell on Towers to Two Swords.
Wow.
So then, but he's been he's owned Camel Creek theme park for like ages now, so that was his thing. But yes, very sad news. Obviously, a bit of a
Yeah, very
legend if
sad.
you're a
Yeah.
UK enthusiast, like you read anything about him.
Mm.
It's, he was definitely a visionary. So there we go. That's John Broome.
Yeah.
So
Rest in peace.
rest in peace. Next up, Top Thrill 2. Obviously, we're a bit late to this because everyone's been talking about it, but we haven't had a podcast for like 2 weeks. So
Well.
we'll quickly talk about this. It was officially announced by the park that it's going to be Top Thrill 2.
Mm-hmm.
What does everyone think about the name?
Trash.
I mean,
I'm not a
Yeah.
fan, but after seeing that thing that McCall sent, I can see why they're doing it. To,
Yeah.
like, not move away from the original name too much.
yeah, I wouldn't have
In-
liked it if they'd have completely changed the name fully.
Yeah,
But their Top Thrill 2 just feels slightly lazy. But
Yeah.
it feels like, to me, it feels like what they've been calling it in meetings for ages. And they've gone,
TT2.
you know what? We kind of like the sound
see
of
the-
that.
It sounds
The
like
code name
a
they
project
had
name.
for it. Yeah, the code name they had for it was better.
hmm,
The project name of Polaris.
Oh no, I mean, yeah, but I grew to hate.
Yeah,
that
it
name as
sounds-
well.
It's more
It
creative.
It sounds
got
more of a
passed-
name than what they come
Yeah,
up.
it sounds like it's
It
got,
got
more
rinsed.
theme
It got
than
rinsed the
racing
fuck
now.
out by everyone, and I was just sick of hearing that word. After all that.
Two
Top
top
thrill.
thrill
But it
for
is.
you.
But it is.
Two top, two thrill.
just call
Two
it
Top
Top
Two
Thrill
Thrill.
Tourists
Yes.
and be done with it. I want royalties though, please.
The
Call
Towers
it-
only
call
employ
it- call
people
it.
named John.
Top thrill to Escape from Krypton is what I'm calling it. Because
But,
it's basically Top Thrill Dragster and Superman
yeah.
Escape from Krypton smashed together in the same ride now.
It fucking is, isn't it? Oh my god,
Yes.
yeah, I didn't even think about that. Wow.
Yeah.
There it is. It genuinely is.
So
Fucking
on
mental.
top of obviously announcing the name, it was announced that the worst kept secret in the world is that Sam Perla would be
No.
be in charge of it.
What?
Uh,
No
What?
way.
No way.
Wow, that's news to me.
Which it's just funny seeing the people are outraged about it. Like
Why?
I don't
Like,
really see.
clearly
I can
they-
understand why people.
Intimate fanboys still believe it's intimate.
Yeah. It's like don't get me
Interpearler.
wrong. Don't get me wrong. I have the same it's a big project to give to Sam Perla. Like it's a massive risk.
Yeah.
So I can see it from that point of view, but also like you'd be saying the same things about Tacoma like 5 years ago. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? You would be
you're right.
like, why would Phantasialand let them build a fly-in?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, considering that I've just done a Flying Dutchman, the flipping worst thing. Yeah. awful.
We'll get
It was
to
so
that.
weird. It was so weird doing that, like doing Nighthawk.
It's so shit.
I'm being like, how is this fly now? Like, what the fuck? It's so strange.
How is this flying out?
I
But
have-
the same things were being said about RMC when they took on Texas Giant in 2011.
It
Everyone
always
was like,
happens.
The fuck is this? The fuck is this about to be?
I just
What
hope they
are they
prove
doing?
everyone wrong,
Who
you
are
know?
these people?
Yeah.
I found it quite funny the way they're marketing the ride though.
Why?
Of the world's tallest triple launch strata coaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got to get that
The
recorded somewhere.
The reason they
book a record.
the reason they've specified it as strata is for when the new one opens in Rydia,
Yeah.
because that is also a triple
That's so
launch.
shit, idiot.
Off a
Yeah.
cliff.
So like, yeah, the third launch is literally downhill. It's
Yeah.
launching down the drop. It's
Through the biggest
stupid.
loop in the
It's,
world.
it's interesting why they're going back to that kind of old school marketing that
Yeah.
they used to
Biggest,
do. It's
tallest,
like world's
fastest.
first sort
Yeah.
of thing.
It's literally
And just
94
come
all
up
over
with
again.
something really specific that.
Well,
they
that's like
can
that's the
actually
that's the
have.
whole genesis of the ride, right? So like, it's
True.
not to.
I'm just
Yeah.
loving the news outlets that are just marketed it as the world's tallest coaster, and you're like, come
Yeah,
on.
oh, for God's sake, it's so annoying.
There's
Reckon it'll
literally one being
reappear.
built right now.
The only reason I went to the
There's a
library
podcast
in school was to look at the
pizza.
Guinness World Book of Records, and it was just Topfield Dragster all the time. Just in there, it was the only theme park related thing. And
One thing I will say
It'll reappear.
to the inclusion of Zamperla in the project is I didn't know this prior to this. Well, I guess it couldn't have been known prior to this project, but like I didn't know until recently that a lot of ex-senior designers from Intamin now work for Zamperla.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
So that puts everything into context for me. It makes a lot of sense why Zamperla's involved now.
It was probably the people that did Topfield Dragster in the first place. They might be actually part of that team.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. Like, but yeah, just for those who aren't in the know, just to give you the stats.
Yeah.
So the vertical spike is 420 foot.
Jesus.
It's
Nice.
going to do a dead start. That's going to be a dead start, so that means it's going from 0 to just LSM pure going. That will be 74 miles per hour. With going up the top hat, doing a rollback, 101 miles per 101 miles per hour backwards, which just sounds mental.
That's gonna be
that's
Imagine
going to be
stealth,
mental.
but faster backwards.
120 miles per hour back over the top hat. So when it comes up the vertical, back down 120 miles per hour. Yeah, so that's the thing. And I think the first, this is, I watched Altai Ryan's video on it yesterday. And he kind of everyone on Twitter and Reddit and things saying the throughput of this is going to be awful, blah blah blah. He kind of just proved that it's not going to be, because you're going to get the trains are going to be able to carry 20 riders instead of 18. And the fast switch is like 3 seconds. It takes 3 seconds to switch a track theoretically.
Wow.
So if you want to go watch his video, I'd say, because he's going to do.
It's very good. It's very good. Very eye opening.
But yeah, he's predicting, that it can basically top thrill dragster could do 1,080 guests per hour theoretically.
Wow.
And that's 60 trains per hour. Top Thrill 2 will only need to do 54 trains per hour to even match that. And and rightly so. I've never been to Cedar Point, so I don't know how unreliable it was, but a lot of people said it's a very unreliable.
Oh, it was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad.
So even if it reaches nowhere near that, it's still going to be a better throughput than Top Thrill.
Yeah.
So that's his
hopefully.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, fingers crossed. That's what I mean. That's the gamble they're taking, really, is that it isn't going to be unreliable.
And each train has let me just think this through. 4 more seats than on each train than Dragster did, because they both have 5-car trains, but the front car and back car on the Dragster trains only had 2 seats in them. Because of the nose car on the front of the front car, and the spoiler and the massive dragster wheels
shit,
that took up the
yeah.
back half of the back car.
That Halford
So-
spoiler, bro.
Yeah,
Extra grip.
Yeah, so that's 4 more seats on each car, which will contribute to the mitigation of lesser capacity, and then the switch track and the fact that it does look in the animations that it looks like, obviously I can't confirm if this is going to be the case, but like it looks like there's going to be a
Bad
waiting, like a holding
Yeah.
spot,
Yeah, that's
right
what I
out
was
of the station.
questioning.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could.
It's,
You can't really see it on there, but
so
it
like
does.
yeah.
I know that's
I was
something.
also questioning: are you going to go onto the main launch track and stop, or are they gonna?
No,
Because it's
like
a
a
fast
whole.
switch.
Yeah.
Are they going
Well, see,
to
like
hold you
that's
before
the
switch
thing. Before
and just go
yeah.
straight
Yeah.
into a launch and do a fast switch while you're launching?
Of the switch
Yeah.
track. Yeah, of the spike. Yeah, probably.
that'll be
That will increase their
what that'll
capacity.
be. Yeah, it'll help a lot. My thing is in terms of the ride experience, like the initial launch being 0 to 74 miles per hour, they're marketing like they've put the rollback in as a significant part of their marketing.
Mm.
But if you've ever seen like a rollback on Dragster, it's basically almost to the top of the top hat when it rolls back.
Yeah, it's not even.
If
It's
the,
not
if, the,
even
anima-
at the
if the animation is anything
on
to
the
go by,
animation.
the train's not even vertical when it starts rolling back.
Yeah.
Like, surely they could have sped that launch up like a bit more to get it further up the top hat to make it actually feel like how the rollback will have felt. I would say probably felt, because I never got one myself, but like how the rollback actually felt on
Yeah,
Dragster.
it could have been. Surely,
They could have got it a bit further up the top hat before rolling it back.
Have they done a lower speed launch so that it rolls back quicker to
Yeah,
increase how
perhaps.
quickly they can get trains out through it?
Maybe. That's a good point. Yeah.
Oh, I
They
hear what you're saying. Yeah.
want it to go
Why don't
backwards
you get
as
back
quickly as
down?
possible.
Yeah. That's a
Yeah.
really good point. You know what's funny though? That
Yeah.
spike next to Rougarou looks ridiculous.
and that's another thing as well. Like the reason why I say, like, for anyone who doesn't know what Super Mario Escape from Krypton is, like the reason why I say it's those two, like, because for a while they were like when it got repainted, they started launching cars backwards on Superman Escape from Krypton, that being an Intamin shuttle launch coaster. It was actually the first coaster to ever reach 100 miles per hour off a launch.
Yeah.
And yeah, they started launching the cars backwards. And this is pretty much exactly that.
Yeah.
Reaching 101 miles per hour backwards,
Yeah.
up a 400 plus foot spike. Whether or not it'll get all the way to the top of the spike, I don't know. I actually don't think it will.
Yeah.
But being at that point in a much more open car,
Yeah.
you know, being able to see, just facing straight down, just seeing the rest of the park just below you.
Oh man.
That's gonna be mental in itself.
Yeah, it is. That's
gonna be insane. And then obviously dropping back down and reaching 120 is gonna be as insane as it always has been.
I think
there's a lot
you.
to, yeah. I think there's going to be a lot to the experience that's gonna. Obviously, they're not going to be able to replace how incredible Dragster's, initial acceleration was.
Launch, yeah.
But what they're adding to the experience is going to hold so much weight in itself. It's going to be an awesome experience.
Oh yeah.
I think it's just so different, isn't it? Because I think in a perfect world, we would just have hydraulic launch. Like they have their own thing. You can't really compare them to LSM.
Yeah.
You just can't. You just people will try and say, well, you get to the right speed. I'm like, yeah, but the initial launch,
thump.
it's just like unreal. But this is better than nothing happening. At the end of the day, we've got to face facts that hydraulic launches are on the way out. They're just so expensive. They're unreliable. It's just a new tech, isn't it? So it's
Yep.
going to happen eventually. So you just kind of, if a swing launch is what has to happen to get you over the top hat that big, then it's just going to have to happen.
Every
It's
time.
kind of just like what else can you add to the experience?
It's just that
adds value to the entire experience.
It's like I love to
make
this,
for
and obviously I've done like a couple of swing launches now, and they are fun. When you're doing them, they're fun, they're great. But I just don't want to have this. I don't want every single new coaster to start having swing launches.
No,
like it just gets boring after a while. But I feel like is this the new thing? Is this like the new RMC?
Yeah.
Is this the new invert? Is this? You know,
we've touched on that, haven't we, in the past? Like we hope that this isn't just this isn't.
It's like let's not just start. Let's not keep on this path.
Well, this is what like the only thing that I kind of like in terms of negative feelings of just like, oh, it could have been this, it could have been that I felt when I saw what it'd been confirmed what they were actually doing with the swing launch, is that if they'd have just put an airtime hill in there, or if they'd have just had if they'd have just had it do something within that swing launch process, like obviously like Pantheon and Two Tires have the airtime hill in the middle of the launch. If they'd have just had it do something like within that launch, like I was just like, I just wanted something in there. But I mean, in hindsight, I'm like, Dragster's always been about the acceleration of a launch, but it has always been about speed.
It's just speed.
The feeling of going 100+ miles per hour cannot be it can't be understated. No. And doing that backwards in an open train, elevated seats, like
I don't even know if doing 120 miles per hour over a little airtime hill it would be that nice of an experience. To be honest.
Well, obviously it would be like I would want it to be like big enough of a hill.
Yeah, it'd have to be
for it to be proportional to how fast you're going.
Yeah,
so like it's still like huge. It's still a comfortable. But then it's
like kind of slowing it down unless you're sticking LSMs on the actual. You can stick LSMs on the actual hill because then you're potentially not getting the speed right. I don't know. That's what.
Like with force calculations, you can work out like how the hill is supposed to be shaped in order for it to still maintain like -1 Gs at that speed safely.
The way I see Top Thrill 2 though is like. Like when you've just started Roller Coaster Tycoon or you've just started Planet Coaster and you're like, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. So you're just trying to like make sure that it goes over the hill because they're just starting with a top hat, aren't
keep turning that launch up.
they're starting with a top hat and they're just like, well, how the hell can we get this up in the most efficient way? As soon as you put in a hill, you're then like, well, this isn't now efficient, is it now? So I guess just looking at it from that perspective, and like you say, 100% agree. It's Top Thrill. It was Top Thrill Dragster. It's about dragster racing. It's all about speed, not like necessarily that. So you got to think about it. But that's that. Anyone else got anything to say about Top Thrill 2?
I look forward to maybe not riding it in the future.
I'll just say with the LSM launches, like again, like with the hydraulic launches, it's all about the rate of acceleration and having that be a staple within the entire ride experience on any hydraulic launch coaster. But with LSMs, like I think it's just important to note that like it's not supposed to like with the inclusion of LSM launches, it's to enable the ride to accentuate everything else in the experience.
Yeah,
it's not supposed to be a staple of.
I think they need to talk to Gerstlauer because I know he was just launched just like the fucking fastest.
That's a good point.
Like, how did they get that so right? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That rolling launch is
it is possible to do strong as hell LSM launches as well.
Even the
Well,
one
yeah.
at, I can't remember. Is it Flugda? No, the one at
Novgorod.
yeah,
Von Novgorod.
Even
Yeah.
that's flipping one
Yeah.
of the most intense LSMs I've ever experienced. It's just
Exactly.
insane.
Right.
But that's because of the small trains as well, obviously.
There you
That
go.
too.
But
Yeah, that helps.
but yeah, so next up, I just wanted to quickly touch on this because this just made me like laugh a little bit when I saw it. Was that obviously the Six Flags over Georgia and Texas are both getting a Skyline Attractions dueling single track, and I'd seen the track before, so this is what I'd seen ages ago. Like this is the track which already looks weird.
Oh yeah.
But they so Six Flags over Texas has just completed theirs, but just look at the
track looks like twisted air vents.
It just looks.
It looks stupid.
Look at the support. Look at the supports. It looks
To me, it just looks like a whole mess.
It's like a modern Pinfari.
What? Also, what is that profiling of the final turn? The one that's going around the outside.
On the outside.
It's like really flat, and then it jumps up all of a sudden.
You got it. You appreciate it. I know what you mean, though. It's like a double down as well.
I don't understand it. It's just, I don't know. It might be really good. Don't get me wrong, but
I thought Skyline Attractions
dueling kids coaster
died off.
Yeah.
Is there theming going on it?
Are they putting LEDs on it?
Oh yeah. Was it Skyline that did the LED track?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Are they theming it up, or is that it?
LED track.
And look at the gaps in the track. There's something going in there.
Oh god, yeah, that's LED.
That's screens.
This looks so much more like the Intamin single rail than the RMC because it's like flat a little bit.
Oh, projection says it's getting the LED track.
There you go. Yeah. Mystery solved.
That doesn't make it a good coaster though. Like, can we just get
LEDs though?
I agree with you, but
can we acknowledge that? Can we acknowledge that this is a kids coaster we're talking about?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we know. I know that. I'm not dissing the actual coaster. I'm just saying, like, it just looks ugly as fuck. Like, look at.
I'm not saying it looks stupid. It's a kids coaster. What do you expect?
Yeah, I didn't mean stupid in terms of the ride. I just meant stupid in terms of how it looks. Like, I hope that there's some big theming situation going on, because if they just leave it like that, then it's going to look a bit ridiculous.
And it's a SeaWorld coaster if you leave it like that. But
it just looks like it just doesn't. I just think there's loads more kiddie coasters that look a lot more appealing than this. Like, it just looks like a temporary structure. Like, you know, look at them support. They're the most ugliest supports.
Yeah, the supports. I don't know why the supports.
Is it one massive concrete footer that the entire ride is sitting on?
I believe
it looks like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, apart from right at the back.
Apart from the ones that
are
right at the back. Yeah.
I got a few.
They found the other prefabs, Mikhail. That's what it was. Halfway through No Limits, like, I've got my own prefab.
So that's
Can we just shout out to Rollerbars in the chat, who is stuck in Blackpool because his train got cancelled?
Oh no, mate! Sorry to hear that.
He just said Preston Railway Station opened in 1838, and it feels like I've been waiting here most of that time.
Jesus. Well, hopefully
there's nothing worse.
Makes it a little bit better for you. Yeah.
You can listen to us.
I want to go
shit to pass the time.
Look, before we go forward, I want to go back to just Top Thrill 2 for a sec, because I don't know if any of you guys saw it as well, but Holiday World also announced a coaster on the same day.
Oh yes. Now we're talking.
Yeah. Oh my
God!
How did
good gravy.
Good gravy.
Good gravy.
Good gravy.
First of all, that's an impeccable name for a family coaster, right?
They could not have gone any better with the name or theming of this ride.
Did anyone watch the video?
Yeah.
That was so good.
So
incredible.
How good is it?
It was so shit. It was so good. It had that charm, man. It was.
Who doesn't want to sit in a gravy boat? I mean, come on.
Gee Willikers.
I mean, the Northerner in me is so excited.
Mate. And look who's just popped up in the chat as well. What's up, Marcus?
I would literally just shout Bisto all the way around it.
I love the train design being gravy boats.
Yeah.
They couldn't have made it any better.
Dude, the train not only are the trains gravy
flowers
boats,
on them,
but they actually the front car actually has what looks like they want it
gravy
to look like
coming out of
Gravy
it.
in it, yeah.
Yeah,
and it just looks like shit.
Gee willikers, that's some good gravy.
And the train flies through a fucking can of cranberry sauce.
Perfect.
Claire's just said in the chat,
Absolutely
like,
hilarious.
the insanity of dropping that on Top Thrill 2 Day. I love them so much. They did that on fucking purpose. You know they did.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
holding out.
It's
They were
been-
holding
They were
out.
like, we'll wait,
It's
and then we'll
incredible.
trump them with gravy.
Yeah.
It's
Everyone knew
incredible.
it was coming up. Everyone knew that
Completely forgot
announcement
about
was happening.
Can we
1st
get
of
Carvery the
August,
ride now at like
definitely.
Paulton's Park or something? Just to so we've got
But,
a
like,
gravy.
Sit in a giant Yorkshire pudding.
Just compare like that
bet
video
you're
that they
right.
dropped for it to the promo video that Cedar Point dropped.
Yeah,
And
it was like
just, like,
fully
compared-
animated, like it was beautiful. And then
It could not have been more indicative of just some corporate machine putting together some boring ass fucking
No,
from
my
advert together.
perspective,
and then a
that-
family owned park actually saying, do you know what would be so funny if we did this? Do you know what would be funny if we did it like this? Do you know what would be funny if we included this? Oh, I loved it. I loved everything about it.
It was just like with it. It's a very creative advert. Obviously, there's a lot of animation in it and stuff. But even just to start, they've done a full film shoot for it. It was proper good creative marketing. Like you say, compared to Top Thrill 2, which was just like so. This is what we're doing. It was like watching someone's keynote at IAPA. Do you know what I mean? Not creative. It's a creative industry. It was just great. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And I can't. Hopefully, when's it scheduled to open? 2024
next year. Yeah.
Chain Dogs do gravy coaster, please.
Gravy coaster.
All aboard the gravy train.
Just think of the absolute scenes with a load of British people on that train.
But it's the fact that the station. It's the fact that
now.
the station is a house, just like a suburban house. It's just so funny.
Yeah.
It's because it's grandma's gravy.
Yeah, it just makes sense, but it's just so funny. I love
And
it.
apparently they've said on socials they've been like teasing the queue line experience and saying like, wait till if you think all this is good in the video, wait until you see all of the queue.
They better have roast in a smell box, I swear to God.
I was about to say Roma Prime are currently making a
oh my God,
smell.
if they release a car, I'm on that. I am on that. Like that is.
You can get like a full-on roast, can't you?
Your wood
holiday.
smoke. That is.
Yeah, you can have your Christmas dinner.
Yeah,
Christmas dinner.
You can have full on Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, it's so good.
Hold on.
Ah,
there you go. Hope you enjoyed that.
Drink review.
It was like ASMR.
No, this one's bog standard. We missed this one. Just to go back, I got this for my birthday. Snake bite and black in a can.
Oh, okay.
And it tastes spectacular. And I don't know where it's from because Jack and Vic got me loads of them. But I want to go Aldi, so I shall be getting more of those.
Off you go.
Only thing that upsets me is they're only 4%. I get more drunk if I make my own snake bite and black.
That's not a bad thing, especially
you drink more of them though.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but they're only a little. So I
need to try and get Wednesdays off again so I can drink on the podcast again.
Do it.
So next
Wednesday
up,
for you, isn't it? Like,
Fury 325. Let's get to the news.
I'm bored. I'm bored of it. I'm bored.
No, I mean we got to finish it off. We've started it, so
I do not care for it anymore.
The saga.
It's a big point. It's a big
episode
big
fucking 9.
I mean, look, you're not the one who's gone all the way to Carowinds and had to fucking look at the thing.
And look at it and not ride
I'm
it.
surprised you even want to
If
talk
anyone's
about
sick
it.
of it, it's me, mate. Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm surprised
I did enjoy the middle finger photo.
Yeah,
I was on top of it because of you guys. I was like, it was hyped to see whether they do it for you guys. Now that's over and done with. Can't give a fuck. Just open when you're open. You get it. It broke. Move on.
Excuse me.
I haven't got a break.
You know what? Like this has already gone over the amount of allocated time I was going to give it. So
well, there you go. That's the news.
Wait till
I
you
could have
stop talking
literally
about
just
your
gone
trip.
through this. Right. So
Go on, Sean. Fire it
Fury
out.
325. This happened when we were out there. This is like the day before we was going there because it was like testing all day and all night, and everyone was like, "Oh, it could actually open." But then it was incorrectly reported as well by all the major news sites and the local news sites as well around there, that there's a second crack had appeared, and they'd used the same photo from the first crack, like inspecting it. So it was like it was insanely misleading. But actually, all that's happened is they've had a weld indication, and since people have been looking into it, a weld indication can be anything. It's literally just to say like we've noticed something here. Doesn't mean it's actually a crack or anything. Yeah. But the park have released a statement just saying that they will now be just doing like a thorough inspection of absolutely everything, all the trains. To me, it just sounds like they've just shit themselves basically and gone.
Yeah, they don't want any more bad publicity.
They've gone from being like, let's get this open straight away to now like, no, we've got to make sure that it's like 100%, because if anything goes, if it gets stuck on the lift hill, they're gonna get so bad press. So
yeah,
I'm predicting it's gonna be like next year now. It's gonna open.
They need to get their own version of Francis Jackson, so that whenever it stops, they're gonna be like, "Hi, I'm Francis Jackson," and they could do a whole thing about it. Because that made my day. I'll not lie, but that's what they need.
Audio on the lift hill. Hi, I'm Francis
This is
Jackson.
perfectly normal.
They need my guy from the Silly Bang adverts.
I'm Barry Scott.
Oh, I thought he was going to go.
I couldn't remember his name.
Barry Scott.
I thought you were going to go down the road of flex tape. I'm not going to.
Oh yeah, I was thinking flex tape.
Flex tape.
I saw this board in half.
That's all they needed, Karen. That's all they needed was flex tape.
I saw this support in half.
Oh man,
Karen, sponsored by Flex Tape.
That's so funny.
But yeah, that's Fury 325. But you know, while they're there, why don't they give the thing a little bit of a paint? Do you know what I mean? It does look a bit tired, you know.
Yeah.
All right, good now. We get that you didn't ride it. Not a shit on it.
Flex
Sean.
tape 325.
Yeah, I didn't think it looked that bad when I was there last year.
It wasn't. To be fair, it wasn't the actual coaster itself. It was like it was just like the surrounding area. Flex tape 325. It just looked like a coaster from the 90s, from like, you know, the entrance portal and like the actual big sign outside. It was like it didn't even look the same color as anything else. I was like, they need to like sort that out. But we'll come on to Carowinds, weird ass park.
Oh my god! I've just realised when you talk about your trip, you need to update everyone on your bingo card, because everyone was well invested in it the other week.
Yeah, you need to get that picture up.
I think everyone's seen it now. I'll put it out on Twitter.
Not everyone might be on Twitter.
Post that.
That's true.
I'll come to that. Yeah,
one of us podcast hosts ain't on Twitter, so
yeah, true that. Yeah. Oh yeah,
yeah.
I forgot about that.
Did I not send it you?
Wish I could do that.
I think you did. I didn't
in the
think
chat.
you did send it in the chat. I think you did send it in the chat.
So I'll do it now. So obviously, as they were talking about a couple of weeks ago, Emma, before we went, gave me this assignment, which is photo op bingo, which was to do one of these poses outside every like significant coaster. They weren't all significant in the end. It was just, to be fair, they were, I think. But yeah, so I had to do this pose and had to do every single pose to get bingo, and I completed it. There we go.
Yay, bingo!
There it is.
I'm a huge fan of the Dollywood one at the bottom. You look like you're squeezing out this shit.
Yeah, well, that's kind of similar to.
I'm going to say that bottom middle one.
You look like you're desperate for a piss.
I think you failed at that bottom middle one.
Why?
Your feet aren't flat.
This is like a 42 degrees day, bro. Like when I did that Fury one, I did hold that for 1 second before my hands started burning on how hot that floor was.
Oh shit! Yeah,
I did. I was struggling to walk at some points. You're lucky. So there you go. I did it.
What an athletic person, Sean. Well done, mate.
Assignment completed. That's what we didn't do over the weekend. We said we were going to recreate these poses. We were at Silverstone over the weekend, and we were going to go on the track and recreate these poses. We forgot.
Oh yeah, we did say that, didn't we?
Oh no.
Yeah.
I think my favorite is the one in front of Loch Ness Monster, honestly. Because first of all, what is that arm pose meant to be replicated?
That was like
Tai Chi, bro.
The best one there.
They're all in the same places.
They're all in the same places. So
I was upset that bottom left didn't have the same facial expression.
So right, you've got to blame Joe and Gemma for this because they were actually helping me pose. That was their job. So if I got it wrong, you have to.
They should have been like, more teeth, Sean, more teeth.
Yeah, they were directing me on this. So
and more Velocicoaster, bro, more teeth. Come on.
I was just like, I was there going, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. So there we go.
Well
but you'll
Brilliant.
see behind the scenes of that in the vlog, the upcoming vlog.
Oh.
So yeah. So this part now, before we go into the main topic, I don't want to go through like the whole trip because that would be boring as hell for everyone.
And I would interrupt you.
I don't know. What do you want to know?
Highlight rides and funny moments.
Oh god, that's really hard. I'd say like some of the funniest moments was Coney Island, just because we had a massive storm. We had to it was Chris wanted Cyclone as is a 300 cred, so we had to do 5 creds before we did that one to make it a 6 cred, make it 300. And like when we got to like the 3rd cred, we could just see this like massive storm sweeping in, and we were like, shit. So he just like started like running around, like getting the creds, and then like as we was going to Cyclone, like we just saw this massive crack of like lightning in the distance. If that had been like a Six Flags park but like it would have been shut down like 100%. But they let us get on it, and we had the one but last ride on Cyclone before it shut.
Wow.
We found this like margarita bar, just went in there. We got a Long Island iced tea on Long Island because that's something we said we want to do. And then it was just you'll see in the vlog, man. It was like the rain was coming back down so much it was like sweeping itself inside this bar. Everyone had like brooms trying to get it out. But this Long Island they gave us, like she free poured it, and I'm not kidding you, like most of it was like just alcohol. And she put a little bit, and to the point where like me and Chris had to like water our down with lemonade because it was too strong.
Wow.
We'll see.
So
Knew that were coming.
I was like, we hadn't really drank at all, and then suddenly I'm just doing like neat vodka. I'm like, no, I'm not having a good time. Don't care. But yeah, that was just a funny day. That was a really funny day.
And like East Coast thunderstorms are biblical.
It was just insane. Like it was like there's this one moment where because it was the type of
England doesn't get thunderstorms.
Nah.
The East Coast of America get thunderstorms.
We had a lot of thunderstorms. Luckily, it was always on at night, like when we were on the way out of the park. But we had some insane thunderstorms. But yeah, like to the point where this cocktail bar was like open fronted. So it had some seats outside, but then you went inside and it was all open fronted. And this car just like drove past, and then just like this massive wave just comes straight into the bar. And then like all these, like in their accents are just like just cursing this guy in the car. It was hilarious. And like Coney Island is full of some mad characters as well, and most of them seem to be hanging out at that bar.
Coney Island,
yeah. So that was funny.
How good is Cyclone though?
Cyclone,
awesome.
I said it.
It's so good.
I was saying it to everyone else when we was there. I was like, because it was retracked by GCI, and it feels so GCI, but not in layout, but just in like it just feels like a GCI. It's like, but glass smooth, except for like the end bit. But yeah, it's so much fun. It's like a proper tradition. It's like if a Blackpool coaster had been like retracked by GCI. You imagine how good it could actually be. Yeah, it's very different, but that's the level it would be at. It's so good, so good.
That and just how comfy the seats are.
Yeah, so comfy.
They're sofa chairs. Yeah, they're pretty much sofa chairs.
I miss the old chairs on Nick Streak. They were comfy, them old trains.
Roller sofa.
Yeah.
Another thing about Coney though is Thunderbolt was way better than I thought it was going to be. I actually really enjoyed it.
Wow.
I actually really enjoyed it. It was like really
pile of shit.
I loved it, but I like Rip Ride Rocket. So
was that after the Long Island iced tea?
Yeah,
that was before.
Nice, man.
Did you ride the pony coaster?
Yeah, that was cool. That was really good. Just very unusual the way, like, I've not done that style before, where instead of just going on a street, you know, like a boost bike, it actually like went up and around, and it was just it's proper fun. I really enjoyed it.
Did you do the Valletta?
No,
that's the one I
skipped
out on.
It was testing when we was there, and then by the time we were in, we got like half the creds. I think you only got 6 creds because after the storm come, even though we had like another 4 hours left of opening times, they just sent the staff home because they were like, "Listen, it's that type of place where they just don't care." But $75 for 4 hours is made it. It was definitely the most expensive park of the trip, and that doesn't even get you the Wonder Wheel or the Vekoma suspended family coaster because it's a separate.
It was literally just Luna Park.
It's just Luna Park. But then you've got separate ones to get. So if you want everything, you're spending like nearly $100 like in one day.
No,
they're well expensive. But it's a good vibe. So what else do you ask? Like, I'll
just highlight rides and funny shit.
I'd say another massive highlight for me, which came out of nowhere because I didn't really think much of it going in. Like, I never really paid much attention to it, but Twisted Timbers is a solid RMC. It's actually like it's now like my third.
That's me high-fiving you.
It's just batshitting crazy.
How good is it?
You would hate it, Emma. It's basically. It's basically it's untamed last bit before the brake run, just in an entire coaster with hang time as well to start.
I swear I need my American football pants to ride it.
Yeah, you would, because it's like it's just it's mental. It's like you're getting thrown out. It's like being on a bucking Bronco.
Oh, it's the Smiler RMC on the Smiler drop. Yeah.
It's just so
literally
good.
like it's weird because like I feel like myself, and I'm gonna have to go ride it again, like to really, cement this, like how I feel about it now. But like just I feel myself going towards like more varied sort of experience in terms of forces, coaster experiences and stuff. But it's by far my favorite RMC that does just stair time.
Yeah, it's just
that's
all it is. It's
looks
just
great.
Your airtime. It's so good.
It's
just never really been on
fun.
It's never been on my radar that much. So I've never really like paid much attention to it. So when we got on it, like I was like, oh, this sounds like it was pretty good. Did it, and I was just like blown away by it. I think we did it like 4 times that day.
It's so good
at different times of the day and different seats and stuff, and because everything was walk on. Most of the trip was walk on except Hershey. And that was it. Yeah, I think Hershey and Dollywood, but we ended up getting fast track for Dollywood just because we only had one day there, and it was so worth it, man. Like Dollywood, unlimited fast pass, except you only get one go. Unlimited fast pass is it works out at 60 quid, right? Wow. And you can only do lightning rod once on the fast pass, and Big Bear isn't included. But the rest of it, you can just keep like lapping all day long. And if you've only got one day, considering an extra day at Dollywood is like $75, that again, it's like an expensive park.
Yeah.
It just makes more sense. And no one was using it, and I was like, this is mad that no one's using it. We was just walking straight into things. Another big one for me, a big surprise anyway, was Fahrenheit. I think I spoke to you about this, Carl. Like Fahrenheit, again, not really on my radar. I've known about it and stuff, but that's like Intamin and Gerstlauer had a baby. Like,
that's exactly how I describe it.
It's not just because of the vertical lift. It's like the whole layout is like so kind of, like it's Infinity Coaster esque.
It's like, why haven't they done more of them?
Yeah,
like, I really don't
we did it,
understand
and I was like, yeah, we come off it, and I just loved it. I loved everything about it. It was really, really fun.
Such a good time.
Sky Rush was great. I think the inside seat is better, only because if you go on it on the outside seat, it just actually wants to murder you. I don't even say that lightly. Like, it tries to bend you in half.
That's why I like the outside seat.
I know a lot of people do, but I think as a ride experience, to be able to re-ride it, like, you want to do the inside seat, I think. And I felt like the outside
for rewritability,
rewritability, and also the restraints, because they get tighter as you're going around. The outside seat is way worse for that happening, because you are like just getting flinged around. It's just coming down,
you're moving so much.
On the inside seat, it's not that noticeable. So yeah, I would say that my favorite was the inside seat, really. But it's cool to do. It was a cool experience doing it on the outside.
You just got to do it you just got to do back left, like back far left, just for the pure unbridled horror of that drop, of that first drop.
That's what Chris did at the end of the day, was back left. That was Chris's seat. And he was just like,
there are like a select few coaster moments that are just like up there in that what the fuck were you even thinking kind of category. X2's drop is in there, all of Intimidator 305 is in there. Sky Rush's drop in the back left is so like right in that category. Velocico, freaking Mosasaurus rolls in there as well, and
for sure.
It was but it was just really good. I'm just really glad that I liked Sky Rush as much as I thought I was going to like it, because everyone it's such a divisive coaster, isn't it? Like, everyone's like it's too much and stuff, and I was like, I think I'm going to like it, and I did really enjoy it.
Joe, I was wondering if you how you were going to feel about it.
But despite that, though, despite Joe saying like it was like really hurting her thighs, like, she loved it, and that's like quite rare for Joe to be like. Normally that's something that will kill her right off for Joe, but she just enjoyed it that much. So let me quickly rush through the rest of these, just so we're not going to be on there for ages.
Talk to me about Alpengeist.
So Alpengeist just blew me away, man. Like, it was just, it's
number one now.
Mate,
I love that you love it so much.
Man, like you're used to, when you get like what we all said was like the tingly feet sensation you get. It's just the most insane version of that I've ever felt. Where the blood is all rushed to your feet. Like,
that's mad.
It's just so insane. And the first ride we did on it was back row. And we just come off that, and like we was just like in shock. Like, we was just like, what the hell was that? And then the front row we did was just like as good. It's different, but it's just as good. Like because for me, what sets it apart from like a big invert like Montu, for example, is that it's got best of everything. It's got like the really high up parts, and then it's got like the really close down to the ground bits that last for quite a while. And just the views of Williams, like Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, it's so nice. Like, it's just insane. Like,
that's interesting. That exact reasoning that you just gave is why I prefer Montu personally. but
I feel like with Montu, it's just like in the middle of just the pit. It's just nothing there. Like, there's nothing that, like, with Alpengeist, you're going through like trees, you're going through like, you're missing buildings, you're going through
I get what you
get what I mean. Like, it's got that element to it, whereas it just feels like you're in the sand pit in like Montu, and I just was like, it's quite, for me, it's like uninspiring compared to something like that. Like, and just the places the interaction of the whole of Alpengeist is so good, and the theme is just genius, man. Like a ski lift on like, it's so funny. Like, I love it.
And it has the best Cobra roll on any roller coaster in the world.
Oh god, mate!
Alpengeist,
when you hit it,
there is not a single Cobra roll on planet Earth that is better than Alpengeist.
When you hit the top of that first bit of the, it's just, that is where the feet that's where the blood just gets catapulted to the end of your body.
The speed it carries through the entire thing, and the whippiness of the half corkscrew.
The way you've described it to
it's
me, Kyle,
incredible.
Mikhail, the way you've described it to me, and the way Sean's described it to me now, it's kind of like backed you up now. That's even more bucket list invert for me, man. That's up there. Like I've seen so many videos growing up with that thing. Like I need to get out there, man.
It's just so good. And obviously, Intimidator 305, we actually didn't get it the first day, which I was really just annoyed about because we didn't get Wildcat or Stormrunner the day before. Yeah. So, but when we was at Bush,
Wildcat's Revenge opened the day after you were
the day after, man. The day after. So I was already pissed off when I was at.
Because you talked about stupid zero car for the last year. It was like, nah, fuck these ain't riding. Side out, didn't you?
Intimidator 305, we ended up going back on the Sunday. Like we did a
drive.
I drove because it was only an hour away. So we was just like, you know what, is it worth it? And I was like, I don't want to go. I was like, I don't want to come all the way back here just to get like Intimidator 305. I was like, I'm here now. Like I've got a free morning. Shall we just go? And then we just all made the executive decision to be like, let's just go. Made the hour drive. Went in and got it. I was furious.
Shut up, Sam.
Listen, you can't just come in here and start throwing your weight around, bro. That's
the funniest thing is what Sam did to me when we was at King's Dominion. Was like I was talking to him and I was like, why are all American coasters just broken? Like, why can't we get them fixed?
Yeah.
And he was like, you're going to Bush tomorrow, aren't you? I was like, yeah. And he was just like, have you heard about Pantheon? And I was like, at this point, I'd been spotted like 3 times. And I was like, what? He was like, I was going to be off till like Tuesday. And I announced to everyone, I was like, and we was all like, no, what? And then he was like, no, you're joking.
Hell.
And I was just like, he got me good, man.
No. But you'd like so give it up on so many creds. Like, I don't care. I just want to turn up to the park, see what's open.
To be fair, people keep saying this to me, like, "Oh God, you got cursed." When you think about it, like we did over like 70 coasters. We got spotted by like majorly by 3 coasters. One of them being Fury.
Yeah.
And obviously,
I feel like you got at the very least equally like as like on as many bucket list coasters as you got spited by. Like
that's the thing. Like when I'm on that trip, I'm like I'm standing there going like, how can I like be like annoyed by it? Like we weren't that. We was kind of just a bit like gutted about it, you know. That we'll have to come back and do it. But then it was like, you know, when you're getting on things like all these big massive coasters you've been dreaming of, like, and these parks in general, like, what have you got to be unhappy about? You're still there. You're still getting on stuff that you know you still got to feel lucky about it.
Yeah.
Which is what I was doing.
Even just to see and experience the parks themselves, because
that's it.
I mean, like, you wouldn't have. I don't know how much stock you put into experiencing Busch Gardens Williamsburg before you actually went, but
yeah,
now you see everything I say about it. Everything I say about it is
Williamsburg,
right?
Williamsburg is definitely like up there with Phantasialand for me. Phantasialand and Efteling. Like it's a full scale theme park. It's got everything, you know, everything you want. Like the food hauling, like just have an Oktoberfest any day of the week. It's just insane. It's so good. Got all the animal, all the animal experiences that are around there. And it's just a beautiful place. There's loads of great places to eat, have a drink. You know, they do 50-cent beer. Like, what else do you want? You know what I mean?
Wow.
It's just a great park. But yeah,
50-cent beer. What's it called in the pub?
I made that. Kind of. But yeah.
I just got it.
There you go.
I was like, what? And I was like,
such an old joke. Yeah, that's meant.
But yeah, so apart from that, so yeah, we went back to get Intimidator 305, and absolutely loved that. That was the closest I've actually been to blacking out. Like I've grayed out a lot on things, but I've never had it where the edges of your eyes just look like vignettes, like slowly going in.
Really?
Like
how
it's
bad?
It's
what's
mental.
a vignette?
You know, like when there's like
when there's like
black around the edges of like a photo or something.
Oh yeah. Oh, is that how you pronounce it?
Vignette.
I never knew.
What do you call it?
Saying Vignette.
I don't know what I thought.
Vignetti.
But I never thought it'd be like that.
So like it's basically that, and it feels like it's when you come around that first corner and go up onto the speed hill, like that bit is like slowly going down. The only thing that can like actually make it not do that is like it feels like screaming.
That's what I was like on Lek.
That's
what I was like on Lek coaster. It was just like my vision was just
Slowly
going outside it.
And
then it was a case of just going, and then
you just gotta let some noise out.
Squeeze your eyes together and then be like, yeah.
But that was walk on, but like that's the only coaster I've just chosen like not to do back row on, because I did front, mid, and then I had the choice to do back row, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I actually think I will black out, and it could actually like ruin the rest of my day. And I don't care, man. I don't care. I was like, I had to make that decision. I was like, I don't want to. Because I've heard people like
cursed enough, man.
I've heard people like have like full on like panic attacks from blacking out, because you just wake up and you like your days and stuff, and it's like I'm like, do I really want to bring that on?
It has fully knocked out people that I've been to that park with.
Really?
Purely off of riding it a few times. Not literally knocked them out, but like for the rest of the day, they've just been like, I can't be arsed. Like I have no energy left.
Yeah, it's quite throughout, isn't it? That's the thing. I had to drive back an hour and then do another day,
and then do bush gardens for the rest of the day.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? I've experienced it. It's good. I don't need to do it. But yeah, it's a great coaster, brilliant coaster. I loved it. I know why people necessarily wouldn't like it, because it is pure force. There's like nothing real. It's just force.
A lot. It's a lot.
It's
so good, but it's a lot.
Yeah, but so there you go. Got 300 and lightning rod at Dollywood. That was a really cool coaster. Sorry. So me and Joe both got it at the same time, and lightning rods.
I love that you worked it out to get it together.
Like we was just awesome. Like, we've got to do it. Like it's just be stuff not to.
I'm still here.
Just picking your nose.
I need it.
Jack has asked, did you vlog Dollywood? Because I would be very interested in that video.
Yeah, we've well, I'll say it now. So, and we're doing it very different this time. I'm doing a full road trip video rather than individual parks. It's going to be
fancy.
I just wanted to try something different. Yeah, because I did a lot of filming like in between parks and stuff. So, and because we did the whole trip, I was like, I want to try something different. And
if you do it like that and still manage to make it shorter of a video than El Toro Ryan's Superman the Ride Problematic Coasters video, I'll be impressed.
I reckon it'll be around the same. I reckon it'll be around the same.
For anyone who's not aware, it's El Toro Ryan's Problematic Coasters series. His latest one is on Superman the Ride at Six Flags New England, and it is an hour and 20 minutes long.
Jesus.
Like, how could you have that much to say about it?
Yeah,
it's that problematic.
It's that problematic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Claire. I remember Claire saying this, that she said she fully lost consciousness on it.
Wow.
I remember Martin saying when he went to go ride it, and he was with his mum, and his mum was just like slapping him in the face as they were going around, like, "Wake up!"
Autonomous voice.
Sorry, the child has just come downstairs in his pajamas.
I've got to say though, I think i305 Intimidator have the best station thing ever.
Ooh.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
The dispatch. I was like, the best stations. What?
Sorry, dispatch. But we just kept quoting that the entire trip. After
Gentlemen.
Any coaster on where we just like it would fit. We just kept saying it. It's so good.
i305s is much better than Intimidators, though.
Yes, yeah, it is.
Much
and just in general, better coaster, to be honest. I did.
Well, yeah, obviously that too. But like
Intimidator is
station dispatch.
Yeah, the actual dispatch is. But it's just mad. Something about i305 is the fact that I didn't even know that they have to constantly fucking water underneath the train in the station.
Yeah, because the wheels will melt off after one day if they don't.
Yeah, they burning up, bro.
I didn't realize. I did not realize. I got in it and I was like, "What is this? A flipping water ride? Why is the trains like so wet?" And then
super coasters.
But it was just mad because that was the hottest day when I3 wasn't running, but like every other coaster in the park, fine. That's what I was just so bitter about.
I'm gonna ask you out one, but just to say, Joe said on Apollo's Chariot, she was imagining me checking the restraints on Apollo's Chariot. I'm like, that just warms my heart. I wish I was there.
We were like in Williamsburg, like, I wonder if McCall did this coaster. I wonder if but yeah, so quickly, Apollo's Chariot, like, was brilliant. Loved it. Really so weird, like, just because it's just so different to any other hyper, for obvious reasons, you know. But like, it was just cool. It's good. It was like one of the best hypers on the trip. Considering most of them are just trimmed.
Night rides on it are so fun.
Yeah, we did a night ride on it. That's the first experience we had of it, was doing a night ride. So
really?
Yeah. And then we did a Pantheon night ride. And Pantheon, people give that coaster too much like hard work, man, because like it's not as good as Titatis, but you know, for what the stall on it is insane. The stall is so good on it. And it's just like, it's a good coaster. Like I say, it's not as good as Titatis, but it doesn't need to be. It does what it needs to do well for that park, and it was really, really good. I was expecting, but maybe I was expecting worse things from it. That's why I liked it so much. But
I would argue from a standpoint, it absolutely does not do what it needs to do for the park. But I hear what you're saying, though.
I think it does. I think they could have gone with it. I do think they could have done something better, but considering it was like the first of its kind coaster in that.
No. I said from a theming standpoint.
Oh no, from theming. Yeah, it's not like when you look at it, that's why. I mean, Titatis is just a better coaster in general. But yeah, when you look at the theming of Titatis compared to Pantheon, it's so bare. But yeah, that is what it is. But yeah, what I was saying was Lightning Rod. Just to quickly go over it. Brilliant coaster, loved it. It was just really weird because it's meant to be obviously a topper track. That's what it's designed to be. It's designed to be a traditional Woody, but now it's got so much iBox that it's so smooth. But like, mate, this is like I can't remember. I think it's you go down the first hill. You go down the first drop. You do the turnaround and you come down that second drop, and the bottom of that just is like Grand National level of like break your spine, which is really weird. But then the rest of it is great. It's insane. It's so good, but still unreliable as hell. Kept going down all day, to the point where at one point they got us in the trains, checked all the restraints, and they were like, "Sorry guys, you're gonna have to get off." And we were like, "Oh, for God's sake, man!" And we had to wait for another 10 minutes. But it was good. It was good at what it did.
At this point, I really don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's kind of
keeps throwing up faults.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but like the way that the ride hosts were like talking to like the guests and stuff was kind of like, yeah, this happens all the time. Don't worry. I'm like, which it shouldn't really. What's going on?
Coasters, America.
Yeah.
From the perspective of someone who didn't get to ride it before it got iBoxed. I mean, like, because its staple moment is the quad down and the speed hill after it.
Yeah.
How did that feel to you on iBox track? I know you don't have the frame of reference of the topper version to compare it to, but that version of it just felt like a car crash to me in a good way. Like,
that's the way it still feels. It does still feel that way. But it's like
alone makes me happy.
Yeah. I mean, we got a night ride on it, and it was just you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me a little bit of, like, you know, when Zadra is just going for pure speed at some point. It's like not doing anything. It's just pure speed. It felt like that. Now it's iBox, and obviously I didn't know what it was like before, but it was just fun. It was just pure fun. And there's someone that said to me like, "Oh, this was just how it is. This is how it's always been." I'd have been like, "It's a great coaster," You can't really compare it to the other RMCs because it's not your traditional RMC what people think of now, which is iBox tracks with inversions and whatever. Considering we just did Twisted Timbers as well, it's just very, very different. But then with this Thunderhead in the same park, and that thing is just the most thing I've ever done. The GCI Thunderhead. Yeah. I can't talk high.
Oh, my beloved.
It's just
I've always said that I'd be well more hyped for Thunderhead over Lightning Rod any day.
Yeah. It was just like we did it in the afternoon. We were just blown away by it. We felt like we all said it was it felt like what Wicker Man wanted to be in terms of the kind of the layout of it was like Wicker Man's much older brother. It just feels more like Wicker Man-esque than it does something like Troy, for example, in my opinion. And it just it's just so good. Like you're out your seat most of the time. And it feels illegal. Like the night ride we got on it. Oh my god! Like there's moments where I felt like I was actually going to come out of the seat, and there's never been a coaster really that's done that to me, where I've been like genuinely scared of it. It was just flying around, and I think me and Chris both said like that is the best night ride I've ever had on any coaster. Like,
wow,
it was just insane.
It speaks to what everybody's saying about it. It's running the best that it ever has.
Yeah.
And I mean, it opened in 2004 or something like that. And for it to be running the best that it ever has now, and it's had a lot of extensive retracking and structural reinforcement over the last recent years and stuff. But like everyone who's getting on it this year is saying that it's running better than ever.
It must be because that
I just want to get back on it because it was so good in 2019.
Yeah. It was
just so good. It was like I come off it and I was like, that is how a GCI is supposed to feel. Yeah. It felt like the first time they had ever actually like completely nailed their philosophy.
I come off it and I said to Chris, as soon as we hit the brake run on that night ride, I was like, that is the perfect wooden coaster for me. Like that is
yeah.
Troy is crying now.
I know. I felt so bad for Troy as well because I was like, that used to be my favourite, but yeah, it's batshit crazy. It's just batshit crazy. But yeah, I think that will do it for now, just because we need to get onto this.
I got one more. I got one more for you. One more for you.
Yeah,
because it's important because of how much we talked about it. How was Grizzly, sir?
I did not like Grizzly.
Do you not? Do you not like it?
No, I hated it.
After everything we said about,
after
all the times we talked about like it's retracking and stuff,
mate, I hate it. Like, don't get me wrong, Gravity Group parts were brilliant, but majority of it was like it was just shaking around the track, right? Joe had to hold onto her boobs, like it was like that, and it was just like it wasn't like crazy and shaky in a good way. It was just like annoying. It was like most of it was just like jittering around, and then you'd have a few moments of just like glass smooth. That was it. Like, so it was just not good. I didn't enjoy it.
I've got a quick question. How was Big Bear Mountain, Sean? Did you ride it?
Oh, that is hands down probably the best family coaster.
Yeah,
like it honestly,
I'm well happy about
that. It was
left.
It was just it was the onboard audio, the length of the thing, the fact like the last launch up into like up you go the way up. It's just everything about it is so good. The queue line's brilliant. The whole story around it's just really fun.
Nice.
But yeah, it's great, and they run that during the fireworks as well, which is even
cooler. Nice.
So like you can get like a fireworks. Like,
did you get a night ride as well as a day ride on it?
We only got that because we chose to do Mystery Mine, Lightning Rod, and Thunderhead nights. So
yeah.
We had like limited time, so we only did that. But
nice.
Big Bear. We all said the Dollywood has got some amazing kids rides. Well, I say family ride. Fire Chaser is incredible. Like that blew me away. The best hour I've ever done Tennessee Tornado.
Yeah,
absolutely brilliant. Like that was great.
Huge loop on that.
What did you think of Loch Ness?
Loch Ness is great. I loved it. Really good. Again, I thought that was very smooth. The Helix, I mean, Claire was saying it on Twitter, like the Helix is the best thing about that because it feels like it goes on forever and it's like pitch black. But yeah, it's just really fun.
Nice.
And it's just like one of them iconic things, isn't it? Really, iconic coasters that when you're getting on it, you're like, this is surreal that I'm even doing this.
How was it Wild Eagle?
Wild Eagle was brilliant, like way better than I thought it was going to be. You can't really, really forceful.
Yeah,
but you can't really see it from that many points in the park. So like when we first went on it, you can see it like around where Great Bear is and Mystery Mine, but apart from that, like it's kind of like well hidden away. So I didn't really know what to expect. But mate, the views you get on the top of the lift hill on Wild Eagle, like you just on top of the Smoky Mountains, it's just you can't even describe it. Like I could do a whole episode talking about Dollywood because it is like one of the most beautiful parks I've been to. It's just the whole thing is great.
I'm so happy about Big Bear Mountain being up there though.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into Dollywood. Into more depth on an episode because there is a lot to be said about that park for sure.
Emma, your mic is screaming.
I can't hear it.
Yeah, it's
humming. I can hear someone going.
Yeah.
Oh, what do I do?
Just push your laptop back a little bit, maybe.
I can't go any further back. Maybe pull this. That's as far as I can go.
Should be all right.
Is that awful?
Yeah, no, it's all right. I've put echo on and all that noise cancellation.
I can't hear anything. Oh,
doesn't sound that bad to me.
Hold on. Hello.
I kind of hear something. It sounds like someone's hoovering in the background.
Yeah.
Hold on. The only thing that's going off is like my laptop.
It's when you put your headset on. That's weird.
I don't know. It'll be all right.
Well, I can't hear it.
It'll be fine. I'll put like the noise thing on it on the after the show anyway for Spotify.
Yeah.
So let's get on to our final topic. That should have been anything in itself. So what would we do if we own Phantasialand? So first of all, has anyone who's got like the strongest opinion? Who's got a big opinion on what they'd do?
I'm just going to throw it out there now that I am guilty of not preparing for this topic whatsoever.
Oh, no one is. I'm not.
Forgot what it was.
You can't improve perfection, no.
You can't. You just these are just jump off topic.
Oh well, okay. So
can we please just remove Crazy Bats?
I have. Okay, so like if we're talking about opinions, like it's definitely not a perfect park. as much as it's part of my favorite 4 parks in the world, and I've said this point before that like it's so like ahead of other theme parks in what it does well, and yet there's still very clear areas in the park where it can be improved on massively.
Yes, yeah.
There's still a lot to be done to get the entire park up to the standard of Ruckberg and Klugheim and Africa and Deep in Africa, etc., etc.
But around by Colorado and China is very, very showing of that. That was an older.
Why
is everyone vanishing?
Everyone's
just vanishing. Just
the end of the podcast.
One thing that I would do. One major thing that I would do is I would put escalators in there. Too many steps.
Why?
Too many steps.
just loads of steps.
It's not that bad of a park. Like, yes, there are steps, but when you are actually in the park, there's not loads of hills.
That's
which
true.
I kind of prefer. Just having a staircase and then flat for a bit.
Rather than something where that fucking splash battle ride is that's never open like that.
Yeah, they need a giant.
A lot of people are saying it in the chat. A lot of people are saying it in the chat. Like the area that needs the most work, well, one of two, is right behind Woozy Town.
Yeah.
Including that lake, that splash battle. The reason why they can't really do so much with that splash battle is because they like Alton Towers, they get a lot of noise complaints from the houses across the road.
Hold on, Phantasialand has a splash battle.
Yes, it does. Which
it does.
Which was open when I went. I was very surprised.
Did you go on it?
Did you go on it?
No, I walked past it. I was like, everyone is just sat there doing fuck all. It's not a good splash battle.
Where is it?
It's behind Woozy Town. It's behind
Woozy Town. That giant lake that they have. It's in.
Never even knew there was a lake.
That was where that was like the start of Phantasialand.
You can walk around the entire lake as well.
They
never knew.
That was like the first their first ever attraction. There was like a little boat ride around the lake.
Splash battle is still there. It was open this year.
Is it good?
Very shocked.
It's shit. Wasn't it?
It's like it never gets close enough to another boat to shoot other boats. The only thing that you can do is shoot targets.
Oh, Joe never knew.
So
you did. Joe did know. We were the last time we was there. We were literally staring.
To be fair, it is a really nice walk going around that lake.
Yeah, it's nice and peaceful.
It's actually really nice.
Peaceful. Got LEDs.
To be fair, I literally walked to Windjass and then walked out again. I never went further back.
Yeah, most people went to Windjass and then come back.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice area of the park, but it just needs something doing there.
They need to gut. Continue gutting Hollywood Tour and gut Crazy Bats and use that whether you want it. Okay, so they'll most likely do another indoor section in that space because of its close proximity to the residents and housing area across the road for noise mitigation. Do a whole new area a whole new indoor area in that space, like, because if you can put a roller coaster the size and length of Crazy Bats in there, along with a indoor boat ride, then you can do a good expansive area in there.
Yeah.
However you want to theme it is however you want to theme it, but do something to the thematic integrity of Klugheim and Ruckberg. In terms of coaster suggestions, Intamin Quad. Indoor Intamin Quad.
Yeah.
In that area would work so well because they don't have that many family coasters in the park anymore.
Crazy Bats is such a long ride as well, man. Like it goes on for.
And don't talk to me about Colorado Adventure. That is not a family coaster.
It's not a family coaster.
Nah,
that is not a family coaster.
Stand by that statement.
Death trap. That's what it is.
Can you imagine the amount of parents who've had to like grab their kids by the ankles to like get them like from falling out? Like I bet it's insane.
I had to fucking grab myself and stop myself from coming out. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
There's an extensive amount of seat sliding going on.
When you sat at the front, you're literally like your knees.
Oh, Colorado.
It's just bloody ridiculous. What a ride. Amazing coaster.
Well, that's the thing. Like, do you think like filling in that lake would be an option then? If it's not if it's a man-made lake, it will be possible, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Like that, they've really.
Well, there's actually. I'm looking at the
council.
Yeah. I'm looking at the surrounding land, and there is loads of like lakes everywhere. So that's probably not a man-made lake.
I believe they now have been given permission to acquire the land the other side of the road.
Yeah.
Oh.
Where the kind of Charles Lindbergh car park is.
Okay.
But
yeah.
In terms of actually getting to build there, the local council, basically for that area,
build a better bus station.
Is heavily opposed to them doing anything. So
it's so annoying the amount of bloody money that brings into that area.
There's so much land and that they could use, but they're heavily opposed.
Yeah, they could put a Londis in the bus station or something. I don't know. Like,
well, like if they started building,
the German equivalent.
If they could start building like where like opposite where the main entrance is now, there's a massive motorway across there. Like surely no one's going to care if there's a theme park against the motorway. Build your sound barriers like they always do. Yeah, you won't even know there's a motorway there. yeah, I think they've got so much room to expand if they can. But like, yeah, it's just
an ongoing battle with local council or local government or whatever.
We want coasters.
Build them and they will come. Like,
get the placards out.
Yeah,
that's where.
See, the thing is,
like,
though,
go on.
If they did get more land to work with, I feel like it might detract from what makes the park feel special, of how much they do in such small areas.
Yeah, they have a design.
And I was just thinking, space. I don't like. Yeah, like definitely. If they can keep pushing for area expansion, then keep doing it. But I would even argue that, to your point, James, they don't necessarily need it for their next like project, like their next the next like 2 or 3 projects. I think they need to get, like we said, like the area behind Woozy Town up to scratch, and then by the way, I completely forgot to mention in that show building there's also a dinner attraction, Phantasialand or something like that.
Yeah,
that is in that same building. Phantasialand, that's it as well. Which like they want to preserve that as well. But like anyway,
but we own it, not them.
There's also they also need to do something about China in terms of
yeah.
Gecko Gamer mentioned like they need.
Can we just have a look at this Phantasma though before we move on from it, because it looks like a flipping like hairdressers.
What?
It does.
Actually,
I do
agree
agree
about it.
What the hell is that?
What the hell?
It's a weird upmarket.
What's that Tony guy?
Yeah.
Why is it so shiny?
Selfridges.
It's an upmarket dinner show.
There's no point to them rugs.
What's that?
It's that salmon.
It's a portion.
This is very Amanda Thompson.
Yeah. Don't give her ideas.
As if this isn't the Crazy Bats building. I did not know this.
End up getting a cheeseburger with fucking.
I believe it is accessible from the street side.
Okay, so it's like a.
So you don't actually have to go into the park to do it.
Oh god, I'd leave hungry.
Yeah.
Look at that. Why is she in a Christmas decoration?
This winter arm.
Giant bauble.
Yeah,
incredible.
Okay.
Oh, well, that looks
shit. About
shit.
this.
Get rid of it.
Yeah, I don't need that.
Yeah, market for that.
Yeah, so carry on, mate.
Yeah, China definitely.
It just adds even more to the. Like
before we move into China,
fuck is that building about?
Before we move on to the China area, I just want to say, like, going back to James's point, like, I don't necessarily think they need to do it. Well, I don't think they necessarily need to do it to make the park better, but I do think there is a capacity issue that's starting to happen at Phantasialand now. Like, I'm hearing a lot of people like,
in terms of what, in what way?
In terms of just like crazy queues, like especially in Winter. I think it's just another victim of its own success. That in like the last few years, people are seeing these like pictures of like Fly. Yeah, I'm just hearing it from like non-enthusiast friends and family like telling me about this park that no one knew about a few years ago. More people are going to it because they're doing such a good job. Inevitably, like there's gonna be an issue there. Like, when we were there, like Back Mamba was being operated terribly. Like, it was just
that's not being operated great anymore.
It's really bad. And then
I've been hearing some things about how they treat guests at Back Mamba as well.
I've never had an encounter in there, but I've heard similar.
Neither have I. But
I've heard similar things.
Yeah, I do agree with the capacity thing, because like I've only been once, and that was the Christmas just before COVID, and the queues. I mean, I expected to queue, but fuck me, it was like nothing was below an hour and a half.
Yeah,
and it got to the Saturday wasn't too bad, but like the Sunday. was horrendous to the point where it was like we were sacking off rides and just eating and walking around because we just didn't know what to do. Thankfully, we'd got rides in the day before, but honestly, it was like borderline. Well, it's worse than Towers, and we all know what that's like on a busy day. It was just, I don't know what to do. Like, if I was only there for that day, I'd have got on like 3 rides, I'd been fucking livid.
Well, yeah, like when we were there earlier this year in January, like Claire went there, and I think she said that like they got on like 3 rides all day or something. Like it was, we had it lucky because it snowed so bad, so I think it put off a lot of local people. But even though they're still like running all the rides, but yeah, it was like, yeah, it was that they didn't have a great first day when they were there. But yeah, so there is there's a capacity issue there, definitely.
It is a really good point in need for expansion that way.
Yeah, because if they're making these amazing, beautiful areas that everyone's like sticking on Instagram all the time, like that's what's going to happen. Like they're gonna get more people there, and they need more rides. And I think it's even doing Woozy. Will Woozy Town be on like first? Will be on their books first, because it seems like who they're attracting seems to be like thrill seekers and you know, teenagers and up, because they're seeing all these crazy rides and stuff. So I don't know, unless they decide, you know, we want to heavily go into the family market even more, then they might update Weezer Town. But the problem is they take like 6 years to do every project. So but I think do they take so long doing each project? Is it not just because they're obviously attention to detail? Is it because they're trying to go onto, they've got to demolish things? You know, there's so many. I mean, if you think about Ruckberg, for example, that must have been a logistical nightmare. Like the amount of stuff they would have had to, you know, they were digging down. There was going to be pre-existing stuff there. Like it must have been like such a task to do, which is why it took so long to do. It's not just like building all the theming on the coaster. They're like trying to fit this insane like
proof of concept.
Yeah.
And the fact that they've literally had to build part of the ride underground.
Like it's such a crazy
under a pool table.
Conquest. But if they're starting from just
the pool table's already there. We're gonna build around this pool table.
Imagine
the pool table.
Oh, that's a really nice pool table. That was the start of the entire area. Someone saw that pool table in the shop and went, "We're making the entire area."
You can move all the pockets that you gotta leave top left, right?
Imagine they dug down and just found a pool table, and they was like, "Okay, shit, we can't move this now."
Perfectly untouched as well. It's not like a dirt on it or anything.
But no, my thinking is if they start from scratch, which is like, you know, one of these fields opposite, it's going to take them a lot. It's going to be a lot quicker for them to start from scratch. Imagine what they could do with a pre-existing. Like they've got a design language now. It's not like
absolutely they have.
You say it as well, like how long it's going to take. They've set the bar now with Ruckber and stuff like that. It's like they can't build a half-arsed new area now. You know, they can't just.
That's true. Yeah.
They can't just be like, right, we're going to build this incredible ride, but it's going to be like that fucking thing that we looked at before with the concrete underneath. Like,
yeah,
it's not like they could do anything like that. They have to continue to go up and up and up, and that is going to take them a stupid amount of time. Like, how the fuck do you top Ruckber? Seriously, like.
Yeah. Well, what's his?
Well, we said that about Klugheim. And then Ruckberg happened.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, who was the designer? He died, didn't he? Like last year. What's his name? Do you remember, McCall?
Eric Daman.
Yeah. So I just wonder. I wonder if he's just like had. I bet they've got a lot of his stuff on file. Like I bet they've got a direction they're going for like the next.
He will have a lot like the next 6, 8, 10 years worth of project development, like intact.
Yeah, and so just like, things that never made it as well. And also,
and it's never one person.
No, it's never.
It was
his company, wasn't it? It was his company that was doing it.
Like it's never one person. It's always a team. So they're gonna have a lot to work with that is in line with his philosophy moving forward for the next several years.
I think the key about Phantasialand, and I think it is true for all the entire park, is just having things at different levels. Do you know what I mean? Like you're always below something or on top of something, and it gives you that sense of like scale.
That's what I've always said.
And you know, they can just carry on with doing that, and that's what makes it so special for me.
Yeah, there's nothing stopping them from building a new coaster and then like an area that is surrounded to their design language, what they've been doing for years. There's nothing stopping them building on a flat piece of land this new area that produces produces the same vision. You know, visually impactful, like Fly, like Rubber, like, you know, there's nothing stopping them doing that. And they've obviously got the artists to come up with the concepts for it as well. I mean, some of the shit that's coming out of there is ridiculous.
So good.
But that's what I do.
Chinese area, what we thinking then? What would you like to see done with that?
Walk off that madhouse. It's pointless.
I want to
madhouse, yes.
Jesus Christ.
Or I'd just reskin it.
That's what I'd reskin the madhouse, or just
change that pre-show for God's sake.
Modify the pre-show so it's not so fucking arduous.
I don't want to be in there for 8 years. I just
see. For me, I like that Chinese. I like the going walking down that strip.
It's a really nice vibe, but
the area's gorgeous.
Yeah, that area is so nice, and the food.
It's just the rides that need. The ride selection needs.
I think we need some
guys
flat
to
rides
as well.
We need some decent flat rides. I reckon that's the area you could put them around.
No, so here's what I would go with is keep Fengju Palace, but you know, rework it thematically in some way, or rework,
modernize it,
pre-show, whatever you want to do with it. Geisterrikscha, use that space for an up-to-date. It doesn't have to be a super like massive scale dark ride. It doesn't have to be like a Symbolica or a fucking like, you know, one of the Disney's massive dark ride attractions.
I mean, the thing is, they do have a lot of space under there.
Yeah, they do. They can still put. It can still be used for a substantial up to date in terms of the ride system dark ride down there. Whatever that looks like is whatever it looks like, but just give it the significance that it needs to add to that area in terms of ride hardware. Here's where the Chinese area gets interesting, in my opinion. The proximity of Colorado Adventure to that area. Thematically, Colorado just sticks out in the middle of China, Klugheim, and deep in Africa. It doesn't really.
It reminds me of the Jackie Chan movie.
It doesn't really belong in any of them.
It really does remind me.
So thematically speaking and contextually speaking, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Where do you throw that attraction into to where it makes sense?
Probably like a gold.
Throw it in China. Retheme that rock work. Retheme those mountains a little bit to give it a Tibetan or
just give it more natural rock work than like bright, like orange, yellow style.
Yeah, take it away from the desert style.
Make it look as though it's the Tibetan or Himalayan Alps behind the Chinese area.
Yeah.
How sick would that look?
But then it goes
all into around Chiapas, the Mexican area. So it's a really weird mesh of areas there where you can see a lot.
Two themes at the same time.
You could make like that bit where it goes around to Chiapas and stuff. You could make that like look one way, and then the bit around the Chinese area look another way. You can still do that.
A mine's a mine, and if they've got tunnels, they've got tunnels. So you know you can only theme a tunnel. You could put stuff inside it. You could put different things inside the tunnels, you know, to represent the story of where the station is.
But I think even Colorado needs like a bit of a, it just needs a little bit more. It needs a bit of TLC, in my opinion, because when you're inside, even though it's a great ride, it just looks very kind of industrial inside of it. It doesn't look like
there's not a lot going on in there.
No, you're right.
It looks very different compared
to by the station's gorgeous though. Around that little pond with the fountain, that's beautiful. That's the Helix bit is so nice.
Yeah, but it's just a weird.
Yeah, someone said in the chat, took it. Yeah, Annabelle said took us ages to find the entrance to Colorado.
I was about to say this.
You can reroute the entrance as well.
It's such a stupid way.
I found out there's a second way you can get to it.
Really?
So the signs all say like point you to go through China and then round the back.
Yeah.
The Silverado Theatre near where the toilets are, behind the stairs, there's a little opening where you can go through a picnic area. And then it leads to the same path that the entrance is on.
Oh yeah,
I think I've.
Yeah.
And I randomly found it last time I was there. I was like, "Oh, I didn't know it linked through."
Yeah, we used our fast pass for it, so we found the easy way in. But even when we were looking for the general ride area, it still took us forever. We were like, it's really confusing, but
because you go to buy where the lifter is, and you're like, "Oh, the entrance is going to be no." That's the exit. Where's the entrance?
Yeah, what? Yeah, everyone's looking at the path, the route now. James,
everyone's
like, I am.
So, yeah, just behind Silverado Theatre, there's a little picnic area.
Yeah,
and then
but I remember
is it like where it's got all the multicolored cloths hung up over the path.
Yeah, at the back.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. I've been down that path. I know what you mean.
It is.
Yes.
That path,
yes, it's by that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeet's right.
Yeah, for sure.
But
that's what I would do with the China area, because
you could say that about in terms of Colorado just being random. You could say that about the bloody drop tower as well. Like when you go behind Klugheim and it's like now there's just a very big tower. It's not really with anything else. It's just a big tower.
See, this is the kind of confusing. This is the kind of thing I find a little confusing about Phantasialand's current area sort of makeup as well, because you've got Klugheim, you've got Ruckberg, you've got Deep in Africa, you've got China, etc., etc. But they also have certain of those areas grouped together as under if you look on a map, if you look on one of the maps, they have certain of them grouped together under mystery and fantasy.
Yeah,
and then there's just Berlin and it's confusing. Are the areas Woozy Town and Berlin and Ruckberg, etc., Klugheim, etc., or are they fantasy, mystery?
And then they just bring out some random dragons, and you're like, okay, right? They're mascot.
It's a little hard to decipher in that way.
I have no idea what them dragons.
Honest to God, when I saw them, I literally turned around. I was like, "What the hell are you?"
There's one that has a dedicated meet and greet area now in Africa.
But this is the thing. It's like Phantasialand in this weird stage of it's like growing pains, isn't it? It doesn't really know. It's got some relics of the past, and then what it is now, and then when you look at the merch, you're like, that's the only time you ever see these random dragons, and you're like, but there's it's not really anything about these dragons anywhere else.
No, there isn't.
Yeah,
and so it's just they're in this awkward stage at the minute where it's you can imagine management are a bit of the old guard and the new guard, and pushing and pulling on where they're gonna go.
That is one thing I would change: the merch.
The merch, awful.
The merch line. I don't mind
signpost the gift shop.
Yeah,
because
I don't mind that it's a centralized gift shop. Great, because it keeps areas clean, clear of.
Well, Africa's got its own as well, hasn't it? Africa's got its own gift shop.
But first signpost it, because I had to message my friend to be like, "Where the fuck is this?"
Yeah, I never got that. I had to message Siobhan and be like, "Will you get me some merch?" Because I couldn't fucking find it.
Ruckberg should get rid of that sweet shop and put a merch shop there.
But for Fly, there is not a lot of merch.
No, this is
considering it's their main like new major
It just
investment.
reminded me, actually, I have that fly fleece. I've not worn it for ages. Just
like they added more this year because there was a cap this year that I hadn't seen before, which I got.
Yeah.
but most of that merch shop is just dragons. There's
just
not
random.
a lot
It's
of
like so
variety
weird.
stuff.
It's like when you go to a museum and you get like pencils and sharpeners and all that kind of stuff.
The thing is, the merch is good in spots because Rookburg does have that chocolate shop as well, which is really good. It acts as like obviously you just get it and eat it, but like there are some things in there that you can just have as keepsakes as well.
That's true.
Like not just to eat chocolate, but like it's good in spots, but there's a lot of random stuff. And if they want to go down like the like boutique merch kind of like niche sort of avenues of merchandising that you can do at parks and stuff, then like they've got everything there to enable them to do so. But I think consistency is what we need to look for. In terms of their entire merch offering, and obviously you want to shore up like the level of like normal, like I guess more conventional theme park merch that you want to offer, like all the t-shirts, all the hats, all the fleeces, whatever else, the magnets, the pin badges, etc. But I think I just think like look for more consistency with the merch offerings around the park.
I think I just think it's all a little bit confusing sometimes. I think because I've been hearing like rumors of like a new entrance, the new main entrance being built. That's why they're keeping the old entrance at the minute, is that they're going to completely flip it to the other side. Don't necessarily know where though, but apparently it's basically going to
probably
be I got told that when you come through the main entrance, which I've never walked through that main entrance, I've always gone through China or through a hotel. When you come through that, I've heard that it's like the opposite side of there, so it links up with the car parks at the back.
When we went, we ended up in a car park at the back where we were sent to, and it was literally at the back of Klugheim. And in terms of an entrance, it was just a gate and a man with a table. Bags.
No, that's the entrance I used on. That's the entrance I used on one of my days when I went for Wintertron. Like it's literally just a gate. Like,
and then we realized we needed to pick up tickets, so we had to walk all the way around to the front.
For a big main entrance, that when you're in the Berlin area and you've got like the kind of big main plaza and the building at the back, that's actually a false facade. Like there's nothing behind that. It is just open grass and field, so they could actually convert that entire section into.
This is what I got told. So it was like, when you walk through and you go down the main street, you go past Rookburg entrance, and you basically go to the flipping, what's it called? Oh, why can't I think?
Wellenflug, the chair swing.
Wellenflug, So opposite, so that side, so that's where the new entrance is rumored to go.
So that's going to be that false wall that is at the back of that area.
That is a much more impressive entrance as well to the park, because it's like a big square. It makes so much more sense for that to be, because I just think it's like, the entrance itself, like we said before, it looks like a bus stop anyway, but then you walk in and it's kind of just like,
I find that so funny.
I do. I kind of like it in a way.
A part of me Loki wants to keep that entrance just because of how funny that is.
I didn't realize I was at an entrance.
It's so unassuming.
Like, what the fuck are we? And then I was like,
it is a bus stop. It is a bus stop. Once you walk through it, it's like, holy shit.
It's a great chalk and cheese moment, right? You got chalk.
It's also no good in terms of crowd control, because there is not a lot of room outside that bus stop.
Yeah, it does kind of have a cinema vibe to it. Definitely, I would kind of
like an old retro like film festival kind of cinema.
It's kind of like this type of.
It's like
like this type of building here. It's like a council.
Council, like tax office.
For those that love to go on Street View and like pre-plan and get your bearings before you go to somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Most of Germany is now on Street View. They have finally changed their laws. It is now available.
Didn't even know.
Go explore. Yeah, you wouldn't.
I didn't even know it wasn't available.
No, they had the earliest you could get was, I think, well, the most recent was from like 2015
And
or 2012.
Go
before
through
they
Street
updated it.
View. If you go through Street View in Gothenburg, me and Joe are on there as well. Because
Yes,
they
you
were,
are.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause
I
they
also
updated
know
it, didn't
they didn't blur your face in a couple of the
No, they didn't.
shots.
they didn't. It's so funny. Because we saw it go past, so he was like waving, so he just like that on it.
What day was that it went past?
The day before the event. So the day.
So we were
before.
walking around, so we could have seen
We
it, but
could
we
have
didn't.
seen it. Yeah. We might be actually in the town. We might actually be in the city on it.
Yeah.
There's a good chance we could be walking towards that bar.
So we need to wrap up kind of soon. So if you want to start saying our final thoughts, anything else, any ideas you've got?
I know it's a tricky park to work on because of A, the restrictions, B, what you're going to do with what they've already got there.
They'll probably do a better job than all of us anyway.
Yes.
They definitely will.
Even would do it. They're all right. Yeah, all right.
I think, to be honest, like I think what they're doing is what they have been doing, like ever since Klugheim, is exactly what they've needed to keep doing, and is what they're continuing to do anyway. I think a lot of the things that we've suggested are on their radar anyway.
Yeah, probably.
Because having spoken to Christopher Kenny, C Kenny or Christopher Kenny on Twitter, like he's well informed about the park's developments, like over time, and a lot of the things we've spoken about are things they're considering. So like I think we're going to end up seeing a lot of the stuff that we.
Well, I think that's
that we want to see at that park.
Yeah, I think it's
and
it's
they're
like
just heading in the right direction.
Yeah, 100%. I think like a lot of what we've said is the reason we're saying it is because it sticks out. So if it sticks out to us, it's going to stick out to them as well. You know, they kind of know. They can only really do so much at a time.
I mean, they're already gutting Hollywood tour. So,
something I think the park does. I think something the park desperately needs is like it needs a big dark ride. I know Mouse Chocolate is great, but for me, it's not fulfilling the dark ride need that I want.
It's
an interactive ride. What?
It's a supporting dark ride.
Yeah, it is, and
that's what it feels like.
Yeah, and I just, from my opinion, like when if it's an interactive thing, whether it's blasters or whatever, it doesn't feel like a true dark ride to me, even though it is, and most people will say it is. But I'd like to just see something with like a bit of a story, and wherever that can go. I mean, hopefully it could do something with Hollywood Tour, could maybe do something in that building. Costa Rica could do something in there. But it needs like it needs like a Symbolica. Do you know what I mean? That's what it needs.
Not necessarily to that scale in terms of like the area it takes up, but in terms of like the quality of the dark ride experience and the significance of it.
The significance of Symbolica is that that ride opened up and it kind of tied the whole park into itself, like into each area. It kind of went, okay, this is the main thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be the main thing, but this is the main thing. This is like our mascot, Pardos. And it's kind of the center of the park now. And
John's just said that in the chat, like they could do their own take on Symbolica and use them dragons.
Yeah,
make them relevant.
They can use the dragons as IP characters to guide the experience.
Yep.
And then there's the inclusion of the dragons in the park's identity.
Yeah.
MP Costa says, not gonna lie, an RMC hyper hybrid would fit Phantasialand so well.
Yeah, why not, man? Why not?
So, totally fits with the height restrictions and available space.
I agree.
Gecko.
Yeah, mate, just buy a bunch of land on the other side of Germany, stick it there. Satellite
park,
location.
satellite ride.
Satellite park. There you go.
I disagree, Gecko. It's not technically an interactive dark ride. You press like one button in one part of the ride. That's literally it. It's not interactive.
Interactive, is it not?
But you could say like, oh, I'm looking,
I'm chatting shit. Of course, it's not.
I've
Press start. Press any button to carry on.
But what I mean by an actual interactive thing is something where you're doing something constantly, like with your shooting stuff, like that. That's what the ride is relying on. It's not relying on storytelling alone. It's just relying on that. And,
I don't like interactive dark rides personally. I just feel that they take away from the experience. I'd much rather sit there and take everything in than get fucking finger strain. I don't like it.
Yeah, it kind of just makes me exhausted. I'm gonna lie.
I haven't got strong fingers.
It's my strong hands.
My strong hands.
Right, I think we're done.
Strong wrists you need for Master Chocolate anyway.
In life generally.
And good night.
But
thanks so much for joining us tonight. Thank you so much. It's been a blast. Good to be back. And anyone got anything they want to shout about, promote?
Yes. So I was supposed to do a stream of Nemesis yesterday. It's tomorrow. So Nemesis on Ride Sims is out on beta, and I was supposed to do a stream. For reasons I wasn't able to, so it's going to be tomorrow. So I know someone mentioned it in the chat before. It'll be tomorrow. So tomorrow at 6:00, I will be streaming the brand new Nemesis sim from Ride Sims 2. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, and as RCT Limit says, anyone who's at Towers Times this weekend.
Of course it is. Yeah, have a great time, guys. I'm not there this year. Pretty good, but
is anyone out? No one's there. We're there. Me and Joe.
I'm not there this year.
No, we're not.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
I'm not there either, unfortunately.
No,
I thought he's taking a flight just for it. All right. Thanks, everyone. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye.